Hey, what's going on, guys? So, in this series, I want to talk about post-cancer. So, I'm not quite there just yet, but I'm planning ahead for my complete recovery, rebuilding my life. And I think everybody needs to consider this when they're going through chemotherapy, immunotherapy, whatever type of therapy they'll be going through, you need to be planning for post-cancer recovery. So I've got lots of notes. I'll be going through them. Um, so cancer doesn't end when treatment does. It's the start of a new chapter. Recovery is your opportunity to rebuild your body and mind stronger than ever. But here's the key. Having a plan and post-cancer recovery can make all the difference for your future health. So why does planning ahead matter? Many people wait until they finish treatment to start thinking about recovery, but the truth is your body is already craving the tools it needs to heal. By having a plan in place, you're not just recovering, you're setting the foundation for a healthier, more resilient future. So, even right now, whilst you're going through chemo, um, as we know, chemo is kind of like a non-biased in what it kills. So lots of cells are going to be damaged in the process, and I'm fully aware of it. You know, while I'm sitting down attached to this drip, watching this poison being fed into my body, it feels painful. Not necessarily physically at that time, but you know, psychologically. I know it's doing me some good, but again, it's not biased. So it's like, okay, it's going to kill the cancer, but it's like, what other damage is occurring? So, with that being said, it's really important for us to do our part in making sure that our body is as strong as possible. Um, right now, I'm having different type of supplements, eating highly nutritious foods, as I was doing before. It's almost like not quite the same as, but let's say a woman who has is pregnant and during the time of pregnancy, she needs to be thinking about the baby and how the baby is going to be nourished. So she's not just eating for herself. She needs to think about nourishing the baby. The baby's going to take priority. And when she is eating food, sometimes she might feel tired and depleted. And that's because the baby is just going to take all of the nourishment. So during that time, she needs to make sure that she is focusing heavily on nutrition, mindset, good sleep, all the things, and and certain supplementation. Obviously, she would need to speak to her health practitioner to make sure it's safe. And in a similar case, when you've been diagnosed with cancer and you're on treatment, you need to really focus on making sure that you're upping your nutritional intake. It's going to be a lot more demanding for you to do that. It's you can't there's less backup reserves for you to think, my body is it's in an all right state. I can get through this situation. I'm not going to be sick. Actually, you're a lot more vulnerable to sickness. So at this point, you want to make sure that, your energy levels are good, sleeping is good, hydration is good, and yeah, like a lot more serious than other times. You don't necessarily want to just wait until it's done and then think about that. Think like, okay, a lot of damage has occurred. Let me start thinking about these things. Your body is undergoing a lot of stress, so make sure that you're doing whatever you can at that point. One of the things that I'm doing, or many things I'm doing, first of all, I sleep on a grounding bed sheet. Grounding helps to bring the body back to homeostasis. It helps to reduce inflammation. And, whilst, your surrounded area is going to be highly saturated with radiation from different Wi-Fi, whether yours or your neighbors, like it's like a electro smog of radiation. It's good to have a moment where your body is going to um, recharge, and a grounding bed sheet is really good. So I think I got mine from earthing.com. Check them out. They got lots of products. I don't have a discount code. This is not a sponsored ad or anything. It's just sharing some good news. So yeah, at least 7 hours a night, I'm grounded, working on reducing inflammation, bringing the body back to equilibrium. I also use red light therapy, normally once or twice a day for about 20 minutes each. It's red light and infrared, so works intracellularly, helps to boost mitochondria. A strong mitochondria helps you to recover a lot quicker, have a lot more energy as well. Um, so that's really important. I also take like a NAD supplement, nicotinamide adenosine dinucleotide, by a company called Drink HRW. I don't have the supplement at hand. It's actually, I do have it, but not with me right here. Another supplement I have by Drink HRW is this right here. It's called Rejuvenation. This is hydrogen water. Hydrogen as well helps to reduce inflammation in the body. On the packet, what does it say? Helps with metabolic health, healthy aging, brain performance, exercise performance, gut health, um, redox regulation, and healthy inflammatory response. Really important. One thing to bear in mind is an inflammatory body is a breeding ground for cancer. You will never get cancer if there is no if you don't have an inflammatory environment. One thing I want to share as well is, especially for people that are lean, in condition, and train and look good, on the outside, most people are just envious with the way you look. They're like, oh, I'd really like to look the way you do. And they're like, they see you as the epitome of health just because of the way you look. And I've never thought that just because you look good, you're healthy. And I've actually watched people who have extremely terrible diets, but they look good. And they're like, yeah, I can eat whatever I want because I don't gain weight. So they continue to do that. Now, to say that my diet was flawless would be a lie. Um, and I can attest to that because I also got cancer. If there was no inflammatory environment in my body, then I would not get cancer at all. And it could have been down to diet, you know, not regulating my insulin as well. It could be many things. I do not know. I don't have the answer to that, but diet is like super important. But some fitness adjustments which you can do to move you ahead is, especially during cancer treatment, your body's going to be quite weak. You're not going to be able to return to where you were if your fitness level was good. You're going to probably start from the bottom. if your fitness level was bad in the first place, let's say you was just like really unfit and you got cancer, then it's probably going to be a bit more work for you and even more serious for you to work on getting yourself um, back on the stepping stone of health. But yeah, start slow. Gentle exercises like walking, yoga, or stretching. For me, because of the blood clot that I have, I think there's definitely some improvements. Um, but walking was quite tough. But even though it was really tough, it's still very important. And for those that just had cancer and had been bedbound for a while, it's so fast in how your body just, your muscles atrophy. You don't do nothing for a few weeks, and your body is like, well, these muscles are not being used, so might as well get rid of it. And like, wow, wow. And when you're not doing anything, you your appetite kind of goes down. You don't necessarily want to eat. So less movement, less appetite, then less weight. You just end up losing weight. Now, for some people, that could be a goal. And it could be a great goal. If you're overweight, that could be a really good thing. So no losses there. Um, but if you're quite slim, that could be a problem. So that's something to bear in mind. Focusing on those things, starting slowly, light resistance training to regain strength. Now, if you was a heavy lifter before, you can't get back to that. If you didn't lift in the first place, then it's good to get started. So either way, you'll be starting on light resistance training, you know? Don't focus too much on like, okay, it's going to be chest day today, back day tomorrow, and stuff like that. You could just focus on doing like a full body workout, you know? I would say just make it fun. You might not necessarily have the energy to go to the gym every day. So on each time you do visit, just try and make it a full body workout. You don't need to go crazy heavy. In fact, you shouldn't. And do light weights, keep it nice and easy. Um, I would say, I mean, you don't have to go this way. Just, I would say whatever feels comfortable and most fun when you train. Um, However, I would say as a kind of strategic approach, try and focus on the largest muscle groups first. So, as much as it isn't necessarily the most fun, start with legs. Unless you have a extreme disability on the legs, um, then move to the next largest body part, which would be the back, lower back, upper back, different areas of the upper back, whatever, and just mix it up, buys, tries, chest, shoulders, have fun with it and don't go too heavy. Keep it light. And also prioritize your recovery. Think about rest days. Listen to your body. You don't need to go super aggressive. What I was doing before being hospitalized, um, I was training every other day, you know, and I'll continue to do that now. Train every other day. Train, take some time off. Train, take some time off. You know, kind of allows you to feel quite excited when you get back into the gym. Rest is just super, super important. Like, never forget that. Nutrition. Now, I don't know what your um starting point is. Um, but during this time, it's like super important. to make sure your nutrition is on point. Especially, you know, if you got cancer and you're currently on treatment and you're trying to get better, you want to have a diet which is complementing your recovery. Again, if your body is in a inflammatory state, the response could be slower when you have treatment. So, you know, eating lots of processed food, that could be a problem. I mean, even if you didn't have cancer and you eat processed food, you are creating an environment for cancer to breed and spread. So, processed food is going to make the environment more inflammatory. And yeah, cancer loves inflammation. It's like, oh, yeah, please. So, during this time, especially during this time, you want to get rid of that. Stop thinking about cheat meals and stuff. You want to thrive off eating quality food. Like, if you're not used to it, you need to try and get used to it. Your life depends on it. So you want to eat healthy food and learn to love it, learn to appreciate it and love it. Some people call, fruits high vibrational foods, foods that come from the earth and they have like high frequency vibes, you know. And there is something about it when you eat it, you kind of feel a bit joyful, quite happy. So think about these things, fruits, veg, and that sort of thing. Um, Also, you still want to think about eating high quality protein and a good amount of protein because protein is not just for muscles, but it's for your neurotransmitters as well. It's for repair. Amino acids from the protein is for repair in the body. Because of all the damage, you need to think about repair. So don't reduce the amount of protein that you're consuming. I know that while I'm on treatment, I've got this horrible response to meats. When I smell meat, it's like, oh, it smells disgusting. I don't know. To me, it smells like body odor, like horrible body odor. I don't know. It's just a hideous smell to it. But even though that is the case, it doesn't mean, okay, reduce protein. That for me, it just means I need to get other sources of protein, plant-based protein. Um, yeah, during that time. If you can stomach meat, hey, cool. Fish or whatever, that's all good. But during this time, for me, I have to think about alternatives so that I am still getting the amino acids which I need to repair the cells which has been damaged during this process. So try and keep that nice and high. If you can stomach a shake, then go for it. Whether a whey protein shake or whether it's like a beef, you got like beef protein shakes, um, flavored beef protein. I don't know how they make it taste so good, but there are some beef isolate shakes which taste super nice. And then you've got the vegan shakes, which could be made out of, pumpkin, hemp, or pea, which tastes okay. Tastes okay. Some vegans really love them. Some don't, and they prefer whole foods. But you really want to try and make sure you're getting the protein in. I do have one unflavored pumpkin protein, which tastes quite crap. But what I do is I will mix it with Greek yogurt. Take that, mix it with Greek yogurt, and then I'll put a bit of honey in there as well, just to sweeten it up a bit, and some blueberries, so some more sweet taste. I do love sweet stuff, So it's something that I have to really adjust to right now because I am just like, I'm a sweet fanatic, you know, and I can eat so much fruit quite easily, which is cool. Because if I didn't have fruit, then I would be one of those people who would eat crazy amount of chocolates, cakes, and I think ice cream was my absolute weakness at one point. Um, so I had to, because I was eating so much of it at one point, only a short period, I was like, this has to stop. The reason why I was doing it is not only because I was enjoying it, but because I was similar to other, fitness enthusiasts. I say fitness enthusiasts, but like in a sort of ironic way, um, who thought, well, as long as I don't get fat, then I'm all right. But that's so not true, you know? So I've replaced all that processed stuff, high sugary, high glycemic, and things that really trigger the insulin for more fruits, okay, to balance it out. But yeah, again, protein, try and keep that nice and high as a main source of your nutrition. Um, Keep hydrated as well. Hydration is super important. When you're on chemo, your body is kind of in a toxic state. So you really want to drink lots and lots of water. Really important. If you have a blood clot, like myself, then you need to drink it even more. Anything which is going to reduce the pressure off blood clots, yeah, yeah. You want anything that helps with thinning the blood out, super important. So drink lots and lots of water for hydration. Highly mineralized water is good. Try and keep away from plastic bottles and especially from tap, especially from tap. If you got like a reverse osmosis filtration at the bottom of your sink, then that's really good. I guess next best thing is, if you could get like a glass bottle, then that's cool. I have a countertop filtration tank. I might have put it in my story a few times, thrown it in my little community group that I have on Instagram. It has reverse osmosis there, and then I've got some mineral drops that I put in the water, and the water is just like crystal clean, like super tasty. But anyway, hydration, really important. Um, yeah. So another thing to help with recovery is different forms of therapies. These are just additions. If you can get access to these things, then that's great. If you can't, there's probably natural ways to do things. These therapies. One of the things that I do is hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Now, I don't know if there is a natural way to do that. Like in those machines, it's like they force oxygen into the cells of your body, and I don't think there's a natural way to do that. Yeah, so it increases oxygen levels in your blood, promoting faster healing and reducing inflammation and supporting cellular repair. Super important during chemo, or like maybe radiotherapy. I don't know if that causes, I know that definitely causes some damage, sometimes burning the skin. Some people get that as an after effect. But oxygen hyperbaric chamber, red light therapy uses low wavelengths of light to penetrate the skin and stimulate energy production at a cellular level. It reduces inflammation, improves circulation, and aids muscle and tissue repair. Tissue repair, super important. What gets damaged? Now, red light naturally comes from the sun. Now, you can use a red light therapy panel, which is like concentrated red light therapy, or you can get free red light from the sun. Probably not as high a concentration, but it is available when you step outside. For people who are in a not very hot country, it's probably going to be a smaller amount that you're going to achieve. Hot country, so much more of it. But then, there's the health and safety measures that you need to think about because you need to think about the UVB rays, the ultraviolet rays. You can't be just standing out in the sun for too long. But, a little bit on your skin. For black people, you will probably have a bit more protection on your skin because of the melanin, whereas super light skin Caucasians, for instance, like if you're a redhead, your skin's going to be very sensitive to the sun. So there's the pros and the cons of that. For the darker skinned people, the pro is, well, you're easily protected against the sun, less chance of you getting sunburn. The con is your skin absorbs less vitamin D, which means you need to be out in the sun for a lot longer. The darker your skin, the longer you need to stay out. So with the, super light people, mainly Caucasians, if you're out in the sun, super light skin, um, very short time, and you'd hit your your vitamin D allowance as well as the benefits of the infrared from the sun. Um, but yeah, vitamin D allowance, which helps to promote certain hormones in the body, you could probably be out in the sun for about 15 minutes and hit your daily quota of vitamin D, which is pretty amazing. For someone who's like really dark skin, they may need to be out in the sun for about a good hour to achieve that. But this is going to vary according to skin tone. Cryotherapy exposes the body to extreme cold temperatures for a few minutes. This boosts circulation, reduces pain and inflammation, and triggers endorphin release, helping both physically and mentally. So, boosts circulation, reduces pain and inflammation. Just incredible. Cryotherapy is a service that you can pay for in certain places, you know, biohacking or optimal health type of centers. But then you can duplicate this type of therapy in your own home by having a cold bath, you know? Obviously, cold therapy and cryotherapy is very different, but cold therapy is probably even more, um, your body is even more responsive in doing cold therapy. So, getting in a cold bath, just cold water. You get some people who's a bit more extreme, where they'll actually put ice in their bath. Yeah, which is cool, which is cool. And if you don't want to do that, one thing I was doing is I was cycling in the cold, just going out about 5 o'clock in the morning, getting on my bike and cycling in a t-shirt. You'll definitely experience cryotherapy then. Going to a cryotherapy center, it could end up being beyond some people's budgets. It's not the cheapest service. It's a lot more than your typical gym membership, and it's only one service of cryotherapy. You do have some places which offer a bit more than just cryo. Um, there's one place called Be Superhuman that I go to in Upminster. They offer red light therapy, cryotherapy, and oxygen hyperbaric therapy, as well as like lymphatic drainage, like with the compression on the legs. and localized cryotherapy. So if you want it on your face, as well as like a vitamin IV drip. Um, Again, depending what service you want, will depend or determine what sort of price you're paying. Not super cheap, but when you're looking at optimal health, it's worth it. So the bigger picture, this recovery plan isn't just about bouncing back. It's about creating a foundation for lifelong health. Every therapy, every meal, and every small step forward is an investment in your future self. Whether you're recovering from cancer or just looking to rebuild your health, remember the sooner you start, the better chances of success. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it, what I wanted to share, really. If you have any thoughts or questions, please just leave it below. And yeah, I'll be willing to answer anything that I can answer. There's any suggestions, anything you'd like me to talk about with regards to maybe my experience so far, then again, just leave the questions below. All right. Thanks a lot for your time and take care.